Hi everyone, welcome to the Ever Seeking Empath. I'm a reader who uses tarot, oracle, and charms, and today is your October predictions reading. I cannot believe it's already October when I'm posting this. I'm doing it a couple days beforehand, but I can't believe it. This year has gone by so fast, it's insane. So, before we get started, I want to remind everyone that this is a general reading, so it might not resonate for everybody. So, just take the messages that you feel are meant for you and then disregard the rest. Also, if you enjoy this video, please hit that like button for me and subscribe to my channel if you've not already done so, because it really does help out the channel. It helps me out, and then you get to see when I've posted new content right away. And thank you so much to those of you who have already subscribed. This channel is really growing. I'd like to keep it growing if possible, so like, share, subscribe, comment, just whatever you can do to help support me. If you enjoy my videos, that would be awesome. So thank you so much. So we have 3 piles here today for your October predictions. So pile 1 says insight, opens the third eye to strengthen intuition, and it's got like a sigil on here that you can draw if you're looking for more insight. They all have these sigils here. These are the Making Magic little oracle cards. Pile 2 is breaking bad habits, self-acceptance, excellent mental health, and letting go of vices. And then pile 3 is Felix Felicitas. So, power symbol to create lucky serendipitous events. So just let your intuition guide you to a pile, whichever one your eyes are drawn towards or whichever intention you are wanting to kind of focus on for the month. I'm going to put timestamps in the description box and in the comments below, and we are going to get started now with pile number 1. Hi group 1. So if you chose the card that says Insight for your little Making Magic Oracle, then this is your reading. Welcome. So we are going to start with your tarot and oracle cards and then do your charms at the end, so make sure that you stay tuned for that. So let's figure out what's coming to you for October. For your tarot, you have the 8 of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, and 9 of Cups. Wow, so this is like, there's a lot of new opportunity and some wish fulfillment coming this month. I feel like you're going to be feeling very emotionally satisfied, but you might be getting a bit overwhelmed because with your first card being the 8 of Wands, so the 8 of Wands is very fast movement. It can be overwhelming because so much is happening at once. It can be manifestation coming in, communication, travel, but I'm definitely getting kind of an overwhelming feeling, like exciting, but it's like as things start getting closer, you might feel like, whoa, 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 you know, I'm wanting to slow this down because with all the birds coming in, it's making me think of just when you see a flock of birds, it's cool from far away, and then as they start getting closer, it's a little creepy, you know, it's making me think of Alfred Hitchcock. Like it's coming in and getting overwhelming and like you might be kind of scared, but this is an influx of good things because you have the Ace of Pentacles, which is new opportunity. It can be financial improvements. It's just the starting point for something really solid and grounded to grow from. It's the seed of something new. And then the 9 of Cups is emotional fulfillment. It's emotional satisfaction. It's the wish fulfillment card. So this to me says that you will be feeling really good this month. I think some really good things are coming in, things that you've been hoping and wishing for a while. I just feel like even your attitude on things is going to kind of improve, especially towards the end of the month. But I want to get your oracle cards to kind of get some more information and see if we can get more detail. So you have Resurrection, Reprise, Recovery, Comeback, number 44. So I feel like some of you might be starting something again, whether that's with somebody or like an opportunity that you feel like you missed in the past is now coming back. And that's really what I'm getting, is that some opportunity that either passed you by or you didn't get to do it last time, whether it's a career move or a hobby or just like even going to see an event. Like some of you, maybe it was like a concert or a show that you wanted to go see and then it was canceled for obvious reasons. And now maybe that's coming this month and I feel like it's going to be a lot of fun. But that's one option that I'm kind of getting, that something that you've been looking forward to for a while that kind of, you know, fell off the radar for a bit is now coming back, or an opportunity that you really wanted to grab hold of is coming back. Maybe it is a person coming back, meeting friends again, but there is just this energy of like starting again, but starting something that you've already started in the past, but now it's coming back around and you're really going to get it moving this time. You've got ghost, regret. So yeah, that's definitely making me feel like a lot of you had something happen in the past that you missed the chance on, or maybe you kind of avoided an opportunity. Like maybe you were like, oh, I don't know if I want that, and then you regretted it afterwards. But this is that ghost coming back around. You know, it's something that maybe you've been thinking about for a while, and now it is coming back around. And it could be a person, like maybe you blew somebody off or someone blew you off, and now it's coming back around again as well. And it is Mercury retrograde, and that is the energy of things coming back around. You know, exes tend to come back, problems that you felt like you had gotten over or things that you thought you'd healed from. A lot more stuff comes bubbling up to the surface. So yeah, I definitely feel like this is going to be kind of a doozy, but it's not necessarily like destructive. I think it's going to feel really good and even cathartic to go through this, whatever it is. But I do feel like some things from the past are going to start kind of bubbling up in your life. Things that you've been avoiding or things that you thought you were done with, they're going to be coming back around. So hold on. And then you have dawn, the light after the darkness. So I think that that's just extra confirmation that this is not something to fear. Maybe you've been feeling bad about it, whatever this opportunity was, or you're currently feeling bad about it, or when it first comes around, you're kind of like, oh, I don't know if I want this. But this is signifying that good is going to come out of this, that you will see that light at the end of the tunnel very soon. And I think that that's really why you have that emotional fulfillment card coming out at the end of the month. I think that this is going to be a very good month for you. It's going to get you to a good place, even if the beginning of the month is feeling overwhelming. It's going to feel like a lot, but I think it's going to get you somewhere really great. And then you have Hunter Moon, abundance. And I actually think the Hunter Moon is coming up. I think that that's October's full moon, but I'm not positive. So if anybody knows, you can leave it in a comment below. And this is number 38. But yeah, abundance coming in. I think that you definitely have a lot of things coming to fruition. You've got a lot of things that you've been waiting on that are finally growing. I think you're going to be feeling very emotionally abundant this month, and you might even want to share that abundance with other people or with animals, because there are a lot of animals kind of coming out in this card. A lot of foxes in particular, and then I'm seeing some stags too. So if those are standing out for you for spirit animals, this might be kind of an extra little nudge to really listen to this message. But I do think that whatever you've been waiting on or whatever you've been working towards, you're going to start seeing some of the fruits of your labor this month. You have believe in the impossible, blue moon. So whatever you thought was not going to happen for you, if you felt like you really did miss an opportunity that's never going to come back around again, or if you were thinking, oh, maybe it won't happen for me, this is saying, you know what, things are happening for you. You are going to have some incredible miracles coming to you this month. I think you just really have to trust in it and believe that it can happen, even if it's very statistically unlikely. But I definitely feel like there's some really good stuff coming to you. I mean, look at all of this positive energy. I feel like maybe the past has been holding you down, and I feel you breaking free this month from whatever has been kind of tying you down to negative mindsets or feeling stuck or whatever it was. You're breaking out of that this month. And then your Edgar Allan Poe little playing card is the Two of Spades, which is the Two of Swords. And it says, convinced myself, I seek not to convince. So I kind of really like that quote. I feel like it's just saying you are the only person that has to believe in this. You don't have to convince anybody else. Because I feel like a lot of the time, if you're trying to convince someone else, the reason for that is that you're not truly believing in yourself. So maybe that's an energy you were in for a while, and now this month you're really starting to believe that it can happen for you. You know, you're believing in the impossible, and you don't feel the need to try to convince or persuade anybody else to believe in you or to believe in this situation. And with it being the Two of Spades or the Two of Swords, that's the energy of being unable to make a decision or feeling stuck or just kind of stagnant, like you don't even want to look at what this decision is. You're avoiding it. It could be that your head and heart are pulling you in two different directions, and so you're not really sure what choice to make. But I think you are listening to your heart. That's really what I'm getting, is you're not letting the overthinking getting to you. You're not letting the overthinking get to you. Sorry. And you are really listening to your heart. You're choosing to believe in the impossible and to believe in this abundance that's coming to you. And then recognizing that you don't have to convince anybody else. And I think you are going to be getting some strong intuitive hits this month, because you do have that insight card. So your third eye is very active. I think you're just really finding ways to trust in your intuition this month. So that's awesome. So let's get your charms now for some more information. And we're going to use the hearts to figure out what's in the heart of the situation today. So let's get your October charm predictions. All right, so in the heart here, we've got a couple stuck together. So you've got the dragonfly and you've got the boy here. So, yeah, okay. So if some of you have somebody coming back maybe, or, okay, let me start over. So basically, I'm getting a couple scenarios here. So one, this little boy can represent like childhood, and the dragonfly is like good luck and transformation. It's a very big transformative energy. It's joy, it's luck, it's happiness. So I feel like for some of you, this is something that's been kind of weighing you down since childhood, and you're finding a way to transform that into something positive for the future. You're kind of coming out of letting that hold you down and letting that dictate how you live your life. And then for others of you, if you're waiting on like a partner or something to get their act together, you are finally getting that this month. Like I feel like they're really in this transformative energy. They're finally getting things together. They're making sure that they bring their best self forward to you. And I do think some of you are having that second chance that you've been waiting for with somebody. So that might resonate for some of you, but otherwise it is an internal transformation that you're not allowing yourself to be held down anymore. So for the rest of your charms, you have the Ace of Pentacles, which is awesome because you had that in your cards too. So that's extra emphasis on a new start, something that can really grow. Financial abundance is coming to you, so that is awesome. You have this little tiny witch, which I love. It's kind of hard to see, but I think it's in focus. So she's super cute. That's just making me think of like really being in your power, especially feminine power, because witches to me are a strong symbol of feminine power, and you know, a lot of the time kind of embracing that witch vibe is the way that a lot of people were able to get power. You know, women for a long time didn't really have much power politically or physically or anything, and so that's that magic, that healing, that's a way that they could gain that power. So that might be something that you're really resonating with, which makes sense, especially for a lot of you, you know, you're watching tarot readings, so that's kind of your vibe. You have the starfish, which is a symbol of healing energy. So you are healing, you're coming out of the darkness into the light. Oh my goodness. And you have another one. So yeah, that's double starfish, double healing messages there. So that is fantastic. You have the Statue of Liberty, which to me is always like a symbol of hope and coming into a new life. It makes me think of like immigrants coming in and seeing, hey, this is what my life could be like. You know, I've left my old life behind. I'm starting fresh here. And that's really the energy I'm getting. So it obviously doesn't have to be a physical move. It can be, but it's just that energy of leaving what doesn't serve you anymore behind, like leaving that kind of dead life behind you and then moving into something new and fresh, starting new, you know, planting those seeds that can really grow into something long lasting. You have the letter K here, so that could be a significant initial for you, especially this month. That also makes me think of like king energy, so that's really being in your power again. That's moving forward, that's being very active in participating in your own life, you know, that's driving your own life forward. You have guardian angel energy around you with the wing, and that also makes me think of like trusting your wings and not necessarily trusting the branch that you're sitting on, but trusting the wings that can carry you to fly. You have the little candy cane, so some of you, there might be some seeds you're planting that will kind of come to fruition around Christmas, or the reverse, you could have planted some seeds back last year that are now kind of coming to fruition now, but it also makes me think of just treating yourself and kind of finding those little moments of joy throughout the day. You have believe, so that's kind of, you know, you got believe in the impossible in your cards as well. So I do feel like believing in what can happen, believing in yourself, believing that the impossible can happen is really going to help you drive things forward this month. And I think you're really embracing that energy as well, because you are embracing your intuition. And then you have princess. So for a lot of you, I think you are kind of pampering yourself a bit. You might be looking for someone to treat you like a princess. You know, maybe that's what you're looking for, is that kind of romantic energy this month, and that's maybe what's coming back to you. But with that, and I'm seeing the K there, maybe you're looking for your like knight in shining armor, like somebody to come in and sweep you off your feet. I almost said rescue you, but I feel like this month you do not need rescuing. You're not in a mode of wanting somebody else to come and save you. You are in your power. You're just looking for somebody to kind of meet you where you are and help you manifest what you want to manifest, or support you just as you do it on your own. But I feel like a lot of you are really looking for someone to go above and beyond for you because you do that for others. So this is a really positive reading, everyone. I would love to hear if it resonates. So please leave me a comment below if it does. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you've not already done so. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching. Hi, Group 2. So if you chose the card that says Breaking Bad Habits, then this is your reading, so welcome. We are going to start with your tarot and oracle cards and then do your charms at the end, so make sure that you stay tuned for that. So let's figure out what's coming to you this October. So you have the Lovers for your tarot, you have the Chariot, and you have the Ace of Cups. Wow, so this is some big energy, and this is definitely some, okay, there are a couple of things going on here. So I feel like for a lot of you, this is love related. I mean, you have the Lovers and the Ace of Cups. That's some beautiful emotion, some soulmate energy here. So this could be romantic, or it could just be feeling really connected to the people around you, maybe meeting like a soul sister, soul brother, like someone that you just feel is made of the same stuff that you are, you know, that you just feel like you get along really well. You might finish each other's sentences. It's just that feeling of really getting somebody else. You could even be very much opposites, where you're not finishing each other's sentences, but you just feel like you complement each other so well. Like when people say my other half, that's kind of this energy, even though it's not specifically your other half, it's just somebody who complements you so well that it feels like your strengths and weaknesses complement each other. And the Ace of Cups is like refreshing, new starts, renewal. It's just this beautiful, like, emotional energy that you're feeling really incredible this month. And then the Chariot as well is moving towards something, being able to overcome obstacles to achieve what you want to achieve. You know, it's definitely kind of moving towards success and really being able to get some movement going. You know, it's definitely progress, moving towards something. It's really big energy because you do have these two majors as well. And with the Lovers and the Chariot, I definitely feel like there might be a major choice going on this month as well, like having to choose either between two things, two paths, just decide what route you feel is meant for you. So I feel like you are in kind of a center point of your life right now. Like this is one of those turning points where you can change the course of your life by a decision you make at this time. So don't let that intimidate you. It doesn't mean you can't course correct if you feel like you're making the wrong choice, but just listen to your head and heart and see what they're pulling you towards. You know, you might be feeling pulled in a couple different directions, but I think if you really connect with what your heart is saying, let yourself kind of center and then figure out what you want. You know, it's one of those things, you don't want to overthink it. You just want to kind of follow that pull that you're feeling, because I feel like that's going to be very strong this month. But let's see what your oracle cards have to say to kind of get some more detail. So you have redemption, absolution, forgiveness, penance, number 20. So some of you might have to make the choice to forgive, with like forgiveness, penance, absolution. That's really making me feel like a lot of you have run into some trouble with somebody. It might even be that you need to forgive yourself for decisions that you've made in the past. Maybe it was bad habit or addiction related, because you have that breaking bad habits, like letting go of your vices kind of energy. So it might be, hey, I have to make the decision whether to follow my heart, make a choice to have a new start, or to continue life the way that I've been living it. You know, it could be that, but it's also possible that you're forgiving somebody else for, again, I feel like a lot of you, this is addiction or like toxic behavior related, and someone is breaking bad habits here. I think most of you will be making that healthy choice. This is an opportunity to make a better choice than the choice that's been made up to this point. But overall, I feel like this is a major opportunity for renewal and forgiveness, and just a really great fresh new start. You have Spider, community, and web weaving. So I feel like a lot of you, this is related to your relationships to other people. So being able to build something with someone else, whether that's friends, family, a romantic relationship, but I think that's something that you're going to be working on, is maybe mending like a falling out with somebody, or using this forgiveness to then move forward with somebody else, maybe asking someone for help or asking somebody how they got through a situation that was similar to yours. But I think what's really going to help you this month is relying on the people around you, relying on your community for support, for help. I know a lot of people don't like the word help. It's really hard to ask for help, but a lot of the time it's not even about help. It's about support and community and connection. You know, a lot of the time that's really what it's about, more than, hey, I can't do this, can you do it for me? Or can you help pick me up? You know, it's a lot more about, hey, I'm struggling with this, I need to connect with someone. And then a lot of the time that allows you to connect back with yourself. So that might be something that a lot of you are going through at the moment. You have first quarter moon assessing, which is number 9. So I do think a lot of you are really assessing what direction you want to go in. You know, that's kind of that chariot energy. The Lovers is also known as the choice. So I think that there is this energy of deciding what is right for you, trying to see a little bit down each path, figure out which one is going to lead you where you want to go. And I think if you know where you want to go, you're trying to decide how to get there. What's your first step? You know, what resources do you have at your disposal? Things like that. But this is that kind of beginning energy because it's the first quarter moon as well. So I just feel like you need to get that higher perspective, see what you can see, and if you feel like you can't see far ahead enough, that's when it's time to kind of rely on your community, ask for help, ask for assistance, ask for someone else's perspective as well. It's not even always about the help, it's just bouncing ideas off each other, seeing if somebody else sees things differently than you do, and then you can get new ideas that will help propel you on your journey as well. And then you have adjustments are required, third quarter moon. So the quarter moon is important, but I love that you've got like first quarter moon and third quarter moon. So those might also be significant moments in time for you. Like those moon phases might be points where you're noticing things about yourself or noticing things about your situation. I don't always get messages about like the moon phases themselves, but because you have those 2 quarters, I do feel like that's not the typical time that people are feeling connected to the moon. It's usually like the new moon or the full moon. So with these, I do feel like it's this sense of the small steps that you're really paying attention to, you know, assessing how to move forward first, and then recognizing what's working, what's not, and then adjusting what you need to. So I do think a lot of you are really trying to break whatever these bad habits are, but you're needing to stop and assess and then connect with other people, see what they can do. You know, there's just this energy of tweaks and like just those small steps, small things that you can do rather than like giant leaps forward. But that assessing and adjusting as you go is that chariot energy. So I do think that whatever you're trying to get past, you can be successful. You just have to pay attention to those little tweaks that I think it's suggesting that you really, you know, make sure that you're adjusting what you need to. And then finally, your Edgar Allan Poe playing card quote here. So you have the 10 of Diamonds, which is the 10 of Pentacles, which is very abundant energy. And then it says, words have no power to impress the mind without the exquisite horror of their reality. So I feel like some of you might have, what I'm really getting from this is kind of this sense of visualization, like you're needing to visualize what can happen. It's weird because I'm getting a couple messages from this. So words have no power to impress the mind without the exquisite horror of their reality. So I feel like part of this is it's saying words don't really have a ton of meaning if there's no action to back it up. If you aren't seeing that action behind it, it doesn't mean much. So maybe something that you're forgiving someone else for, or that you need to forgive yourself for, is promising things or saying you'll do something or talking things up but then not following through. You know, it's easy to disappoint ourselves that way, like especially if we get excited about something and we talk things up and then reality hits and we're like, nope, I'm not going to do that, or I can't do that, or, you know, a toxic behavior is preventing us from doing that. But also it makes me think that you can know intellectually that something is bad for you, but until you see that exquisite horror of their reality, that's just making me feel like until you see what it can turn into, it's hard to kind of trust in those words. So maybe some of you, if you have an addiction, maybe you're meeting somebody this month, or you're talking to someone who has been down that toxic path and has gotten further down that path than you are. And this is your chance to turn things around, because you realize if you keep going down that path, you can turn out like your life might turn out like theirs did, and they're trying to talk you out of it. So maybe that's that sense of community. So for a lot of you, I do feel like this is maybe addiction related, and if it's not your addiction, it could be the addiction or toxic behaviors of a loved one, and you're really connecting with people over that. But I do feel like this is something that can be overcome. It's just that work has to be put into it. That's why the assessing and adjustments, I think, are so important. That Chariot energy is really the most prominent one, even though I feel like a lot of people want to pay attention to the Lovers and the Ace of Cups, and those are good, but they're not going to go anywhere. That emotional energy, if it doesn't have an anchor, it's just there. It's not doing anything. So I think that's why it's really saying action is going to be important, and it's about those little things. It's not about the big grand gestures. It's about the little adjustments, the assessing, the planning, and then moving forward. And then if you realize that's not working, then you adjust, you tweak it, you try to figure out what will work, and then with those tiny steps you can move forward and go a long way. So I want to get your terms now to get some more detailed information. So we're going to use the heart to figure out what's in the heart of the situation today. So let's get your October charm predictions. So in the heart, we have the elephant. So the first thing that I think of with this elephant is an elephant never forgets. So for a lot of you, this might be something where you've hurt somebody or somebody has hurt you and you're hanging on to that. That's why I think that retribution, I don't remember if that's what it said, retribution. No, forgiveness. Okay, so absolution, forgiveness, penance, redemption. So there's this redemption energy. But I think that's why the action is so important, is that action is going to be needed to back up those words. Otherwise, it's like empty words. I feel like a lot of you have been in this situation of like, oh, I can change, and then it doesn't go anywhere, and it just is a repeating cycle, and that's why it's so important to break it this month. But I think a lot of you are really determined to break whatever cycle this is. So well done. If that's you, if that's your loved ones, just try to be supportive. I think it can be done. It's just that action is really needed. Like, that's really what I'm getting, is those little actions, consistent actions to move forward. And then if you backslide, just pick yourself back up and keep going. Because I think a lot of you are trying to free yourselves, or the people around you are trying to free themselves from whatever this toxic thing is. You've got the dream catcher, so trying to catch that negative energy and just keep the positive around. Dreams might be giving you extra messages right now. I'm going to try to scoot that. I just nudged that. You have the passport, so that's going somewhere you've never been before. It could be literal travel as well, maybe moving somewhere. But it's just that kind of adventurous, that kind of apprehensive energy before you embark on a new adventure. There's healing that can happen this month as well, and Group 1 got a couple of healing terms too, so I feel like this is going to be a month of healing and things coming back around. Like I said to Group 1, it's Mercury retrograde. Those toxic behaviors that we were trying to ignore, that we felt like we had gotten over, they're going to be coming back up right now, so just keep that in mind. You have the scissors, so cutting cords, cutting away the things that don't work for you, that don't serve you, cutting away those toxic behaviors. You have the skull with the flower, so life can come from the darkness and from the kind of death energy. Things decay, but then it fertilizes the soil for new things to grow from. And then you do have the bunny with the flower too, so I love that kind of connection there with the two flowers in the same place too, which is really cool. So I feel like that's that sign of spring coming. So just spring coming in, it's fresh new energy. So I do think that there is this potential freshness coming in, but that's why that action is so important. But then as you progress, you'll notice things do start getting better. Because I think a lot of you, we've got the football player here, so that just makes me think of like mowing people down. Like you're really wanting to just go for it and be done. But I think it's just important to recognize you just have to go those small increments and then be consistent about it, and that's how you will move forward. It doesn't all have to be in like one fell swoop. You have the letter Y, so this could be a significant initial for you this month, or it could just be asking yourself why, or asking someone else why. Like, why are you making those decisions? Why is this happening? It's just that kind of energy. solutions are around you because you have the key here. So it's definitely saying that you can fix this, you can solve this, the answer is right in front of you. You have the crab, so that's Cancer energy, which is also the Chariot card. So that's very emotional energy. It can sometimes be kind of emo. Coming out of your shell is another thing that I think of. But with the Chariot, that's moving things forward, overcoming obstacles. But I do feel like a lot of you are just feeling kind of closed off. Like maybe that's the toxic behavior, is like keeping yourself too closed off and not reaching out to your community. But you had that web weaving card, so that's reaching out to people, connecting. The dolphin has to do with community a lot of the time too, but it's also about joy and playfulness. And then you have the mixer. So this is about blending together things, trying to find the right recipe. So if it gets screwed up, you feel like it didn't turn out right, you kind of analyze it, figure out what went wrong, and then you adjust. So like that card that said adjustments are required, that's really what it's encouraging you to do this month. So group 2, I hope that this resonated with you. I would love to hear if it does, so please leave me a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button for me and subscribe to my channel if you've not already done so. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching. Hi Group 3, so if you chose the card that says Felix Felicitas, then this is your message, so welcome to your reading. We are going to start with your tarot and oracle cards and then do your charms at the end, so make sure that you stay tuned for that. So let's figure out what's coming to you this October. So for your tarot, you have the Ten of Cups. It's a great way to start. The Two of Wands and the Two of Pentacles. So, with the Ten of Cups, first of all, we're going to start there. And I just knocked down the little card, so let's see if we can prop that up again. So the Ten of Cups is a lot of emotional fulfillment. It's a lot of joy and happiness. It can signify a happy home life. I'm getting the sense of like passions as well. Like you're really feeling good in whatever you feel emotionally fulfills you. So for this guy, it's obviously music. I mean, he's walking with a purpose with this cello. There's the rainbow in the background, so that's signifying a lot of beauty and joy after a storm. And then this woman is gardening here. So I don't know the Poe stories. I could pull out the book and really kind of delve into that, but I want to keep this video a little bit shorter. So maybe next time I'll do that. But so she's gardening, and I feel like these two are really just indulging in their passions and really enjoying whatever is growing from that as well. And then you have the two twos here. So you have the Two of Wands and the Two of Pentacles. So we're going to start with the Two of Wands. So that usually has to do with like future plans, really kind of trying to figure out which direction you're going to go. If you're at a crossroads, trying to figure out what direction is going to get you where you want to go, and kind of being able to visualize your future. And then the Two of Pentacles has to do with juggling a lot of the time. So juggling your commitments, trying to kind of adjust and adapt as things change in your life, trying to make room for everything that you want to do and want to achieve. So I think a lot of you are making some changes. So whether that's because you finally kind of reached the end of the road with something that you've been working on and you're really happy with that, and now it's time to kind of start over. You know, as you reach the end of one cycle, you start the beginning of a new one. Or whether it's because you're trying to kind of figure out what route is going to take you to where your passion is leading you. But I think a lot of you are really focused on the things that you're passionate about, and you're trying to figure out ways to incorporate all of that into your life. But I want to look at your oracle cards and get some more detail. So you have death rites, saying goodbye, formal occasion, honoring lives, number 11. So, I mean, that looks like kind of a morbid card. These are the Les Vampires Oracle, so they're all kind of morbid looking cards, but this particular one is making me think of, again, ending one cycle and beginning a new one. So honoring the life that you've led up to this point and saying goodbye to it and embarking on something new. So that's definitely an energy that is permeating all of these piles today. So I feel like there is this kind of energy of ending things, moving into a new cycle, releasing the things that you don't want anymore. It is Mercury retrograde. I said that in both prior piles. So that's that energy of things coming back around, releasing the things you don't need anymore, kind of being forced to look at things that you've been trying to ignore, that kind of energy. And then you have rebellion, upstart, tumult, revolution, number 33. So I love that you have the repeating numbers too, because you have 11 and 33, so 1133. But I'm feeling like a lot of you maybe are moving towards a passion that isn't something that a lot of people would expect you to do, or it's something that is a little bit rebellious. Maybe you came from a more traditional background and you're wanting to move towards something different, or you come from a very stable, kind of standard 9 to 5 career and you're moving towards something a little bit more free flowing. But whatever it is, I think that's why you have to say goodbye to your old life to move into this new situation. And that doesn't mean that you have to completely release it, but I think it's talking about just releasing the way that you were living before. It doesn't mean that you have to completely quit your job or anything, but you have to adjust and figure out how you can incorporate these new things. You're going to have to learn to adapt to this new situation. You have a skull of stars, infinite possibilities. So I think a lot of you do have that really great vision where you can picture how something could look, like far ahead of time. Like you really have a great kind of visual imagination. You can really picture what this could look like, what is possible, because I feel like a lot of people can be very closed-minded. You are not like that. You can see things, you can see down the path really far, and that might be why you're at this crossroads with the Two of Wands of feeling a little bit like you're not sure which path is going to bring you what you want. Maybe things are looking a little foggier than you'd like, and that's why you're trying to figure out which path to go down. But this is just saying open up to those infinite possibilities. Try not to close yourself off. Recognize that you can kind of shift into something new. You don't have to do a sudden stop. Like I said, you don't have to quit your job to be able to move into your side hustle or new business or anything. You can start trying to adjust. Just start bringing in more of that energy and more of that work into your daily life and find ways to kind of work it in. You have fruition, harvest moon, number 37. So that definitely goes with the 10 of Cups, things coming to fruition, really noticing the fruits of your labors, harvesting what you've worked so hard for. So I do think some of you are like reaching the end of a project or reaching the point in your career that you had hoped for, or reaching the point in your relationship you had hoped for. And now it's kind of like, now what? Like you feel great and you're proud of yourself, but then it's like, okay, but now there's this empty void of like, what do I do next? So some of you might have even just like gotten married or something and you've been planning a wedding and now the wedding's over and you're like, oh, now what? It's just that energy where yes, something was great and celebrated, but now, that part's over. So you're moving into something new. So that's kind of what I'm getting from that death rites too, is that, yeah, it's saying goodbye to like wedding planning or the excitement moving towards that period, but now it's like that's over and it's not like anything is dead. It's just now you have to find something else to fill your time, and that's why that adjustment is really needed. And then you have the answers you need are coming, full moon in Gemini. So some of you might be kind of asking questions, trying to figure out what do I do next or what do I want? And I think that those answers are coming. Some of you might even be waiting on an answer for, like, if you applied for a job or asked for a business loan or asked somebody if they were interested in, starting a business with you or interested in your ideas or interested in you if you're dating. There's just so many possibilities with all of you, but the answers that you've been waiting for are coming to you. You just have to be patient and really focus on just how you're adjusting your life. Focus on the future, focus on whatever you're wanting to move towards. And then your Edgar Allan Poe playing card with the quote is the 7 of Hearts. So that's the 7 of Cups. So that's that fantasy energy. That's very much infinite possibilities, trying to figure out what you want. And this says that pleasure which is at once the most pure, the most elevating, and the most intense is derived, I maintain, from the contemplation of the beautiful. So that's beautiful. I feel like what I'm getting from that is just that the highest pleasure a lot of the time is picturing that beautiful life. So maybe if some of you are feeling like you're not at that place of fruition, that's what it's telling you to visualize so that you can move towards it. And maybe you are at these twos here. You're at the point where you're at a crossroads trying to figure out how to change things in your life to move towards what you want. And this 10 of Cups is just your imagination right now. It's just what you're hoping to reach. And so this is saying, okay, start moving your life towards that direction. What do you picture? How can you see it? Which direction do you want to face? Now start moving. And that's really what I'm getting, is that for you, that visualization is going to be important, and visualizing yourself being happy. And that really does fit. I love how these cards have fit with your piles too. And I shuffle these like on their own. I don't pick them or anything like that. I've shuffled the little cards and then I shuffled the cards in your pile as well. I just don't do it on camera to save time. But the Felix Felicitas is very much about luck and happiness and serendipity. And I feel like that's what you're going to be experiencing this month. And this is like the starting month of more of that as well. So the more that you focus on what you want to happen, the more that you're going to attract that to you. So it's that law of attraction energy that's really coming to you this month. So let's get your charms for some more information. And we are using the heart to figure out what's in the heart of the situation today. So group 3, let's get your October charm predictions. All right, so nothing landed in the heart today. So I do feel like a lot of you, maybe it is about those infinite possibilities. You know, we don't want to narrow it down because all your situations are different. So, and maybe it is because you don't know what you want yet. So we're just going to kind of read these energies and figure out what they are trying to tell you. So you have, I believe that's Capricorn energy. I'll edit this if that's not the case. But so Capricorn energy is just that hardworking energy. You know, it's very ambitious. So maybe that's what you are moving towards, is you want to be ambitiously going after something. But that's why it's saying that visualization is going to be important, so that then you can figure out what to work towards and move towards it. You have the little mushroom here, so that's oftentimes like growing out of decay. So that's kind of similar to the death card, that transformational energy of like leaving something behind and then growing out of that as well, like what I was talking about earlier with the end of one era and moving into something new, finding something to fill that void. You have the bat here, so some of you, it might be that fears are holding you back. You get that kind of nightmarish feeling when you think about moving towards what you want. I feel like some of you might even have when you're trying to visualize, you're trying to picture it going well, and then it just kind of turns into a big swarm of bats, like where your highest desires turn into your worst fears. So some of you might really need to practice visualizing what could go right and not just what could go wrong. You have the shell here, which has space for a pearl. So I feel like some of you are really working on creating the life you want, creating that little gift out of the difficulty and things like that. You have Anubis, which is a god of death. So there is this death energy here. So about like transitioning into the next phase of your life, because that's really what Anubis is about as well, is that seamless transition. That's, I believe, what his point is he helps guide souls into the next phase of their life and protects them. You are kind of cleaning up from whatever the last phase of your life was as well, with that little dust broom. You have the frog, so that's transformational energy again, so more death energy. So there is this big transformation going on right now. It's a very serendipitous transformation, but I do feel like it might be uncomfortable, it might be scary, you might be having those fears because you're starting something new, but I feel like if you give into the excitement just a little more than you're giving into the fear, things are really going to turn out for you. You have 0, so that is the Fool energy in tarot. So that, again, is starting fresh. It's the step before your first step. So you're in that kind of void space where you're like, okay, it's the new start. You know, it's like right before you walk in the door. That's kind of the energy that's going on. So I feel like this is that fresh start energy that you're getting right now. You have not my circus, not my monkeys. So some of you might have to focus more on yourself and what you want, and not focusing on trying to fix someone else's life or trying to give somebody else so much advice that it's positively draining you. And I think some of you also need to tell the people around you to mind their own business, because I feel like some of them really try to get into your life and nitpick and micromanage how you're living, things like that. So I think that's really what it's saying, is get your nose out of other people's business and shove other people's noses out of your business. Just focus on what you are working on. You have the wolf here. So wolves, sometimes this one makes me think of a lone wolf, but this one, because of the way he's moving, it makes me think of searching for your pack. So some of you might really be starting over with a new like group of people around you. you're looking for kind of your soul tribe. So I think a lot of you are really looking for the people that you feel like you fit with, whether that's a mate, you know, like a partner, or whether that's just friends, family. But I think you're really in that stage of trying to figure out where you fit in, you know, who do you fit with, where do you fit? And then you have the hibiscus flowers, so beauty, feeling a little bit different than everyone else, but just recognizing that your beauty is still there, even if it doesn't kind of blend into what everybody else looks like. And then you have the little nurse's cap, so healing. I think a lot of you are healers. Some of you might actually be nurses or be in a healing field of work, or that's what you're wanting to move towards. So that might be an extra message for you, but overall, I think you are somebody who is very healing. I think you need to direct more of that healing energy towards yourself and not just towards other people, because I think directing it towards other people all the time is going to drain you. Like with this Not My Circus, Not My Monkeys, what we were talking about, I think it's often easier to direct your energy to helping other people because you can see their lives objectively, but working on your own life is scary, you know, so just make sure that you're not ignoring your own life and your own wishes and desires to help other people or to satisfy other people. So group 3, I hope that this resonates. I would love to hear if it does, so please leave me a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button for me and subscribe to my channel if you've not already done so. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching.